One day, I went to visit my grandfather, who was 100 years old at the time. As soon as I entered his room, his nurse hurried in behind me. When I asked what was going on, she said, "You need to let your grandfather tell you what happened today." I felt a bit nervous. I knew my grandfather was still capable of getting into some questionable situations. When I asked him to explain, I nearly passed out from laughing. One of his nurses had been giving him a sponge bath when she accidentally dropped the soap into the tub. As she reached down to retrieve it, she grabbed hold of something. But it wasn't the soap. My grandfather looked her straight in the eye and said, "Don't worry, darling. The soldier can salute you, but he can't shoot you." A woman was talking with her girlfriend and said, "I want a man who won't use his hands to hurt me, who won't walk away from me, and who has a big D to satisfy me." The very next day, her doorbell rings. When she opens the door, she sees a handsome man sitting in a wheelchair. He has no arms and no legs. She asks how she can help him. He smiles and says, "I heard you were looking for me." Confused, she looks at him. He continues, "I don't have any arms, so I can't beat you. I don't have any legs, so I can never walk away from you." As she stares at him in disbelief, he adds, "And before you ask, how do you think I rang the doorbell?" A man was determined to die with his money, literally. Before his death, he divided his fortune into 3 equal parts and entrusted them to a priest, a doctor, and a lawyer, instructing each of them to bury the money with him when he died. After the man passed away, the 3 attended his funeral. At the graveside, the priest leaned over the coffin, whispered a few words, and placed a bag inside. The doctor did the same, whispering softly before placing his bag into the coffin. Finally, the lawyer stepped forward, dropped in his bag, and walked away without a word. Later, as they were carpooling home, the lawyer asked the priest what he had whispered. With tears in his eyes, the priest confessed, "I couldn't help myself. I spent some of the money on an orphanage so hungry children wouldn't starve. I feel terrible, but I had no choice." The doctor sighed and admitted, "I did the same. One of my patients desperately needed surgery, and I was the only one who could save them. I used part of the money to save a life." The lawyer looked at them with disgust and said, "How could you do that? You both betrayed a man's final wish." The priest and doctor stared at him and asked, "So, you put all the money he gave you into the coffin?" The lawyer replied, "Damn right I did. I wrote him a check for the full amount, not a penny less." Early one morning, an old man in his 80s got up and started putting on his coat. His wife looked over and asked, "Where are you going?" He replied, "I'm going to the doctor." "Why?" she asked. "Are you sick?" "No," he said, "I'm going to get some of those new Viagra pills." Hearing that, his wife stood up from her rocker and began putting on her sweater. Surprised, he asked, "Where are you going?" She replied, "I'm going to the doctor too." "Why?" he asked. She said, "Because if you're planning to start using that rusty old thing again, I'm gonna need a tetanus shot."